Welcome to sixth grade science at Kennedy Junior High. My name is Ms. Barrett. I am the science teacher on the Rockies team. It is a pleasure to be teaching your student this school year. District 203 believes in a student-centered environment that will spark imagination and curiosity through inquiry-driven investigations and inspire critical interpretation of science information. Students will actively participate in science and engineering practices to understand the core ideas and connections between physical, earth and space, and life science, and to understand, use, and interpret scientific explanations of natural phenomena. Students will be empowered to draw, share, and defend conclusions based on evidence and design solutions that can be applied to the world around them. In District 203, we have aligned our entire science curriculum with the Next Generation Science Standards, also known as the NGSS. The NGSS calls for three-dimensional learning in the science classroom. This means that students will actively engage in scientific practices, they will learn about core ideas, and they will also continually refer back to cross-cutting concepts. In more detail, the scientific practices call for students to actively engage in the work of scientists and engineers. This means that throughout the year, they repeatedly participate in inquiry-based learning. This means that what they learn is driven by questions, very often their own questions. Students also engage in project-based learning. This offers opportunities for students to use their critical thinking skills and to also engage in collaborative work. Additionally, throughout the year, students will design, create, and build models of scientific phenomena. The cross-cutting concepts connect the different domains of science. In sixth grade, the students focus on cause and effect, systems and system models, energy and matter, and stability and change. The other cross-cutting concepts are more thoroughly addressed in grades 7 and 8. The disciplinary core ideas include the content that the students will be learning in their science class. This content is spired across grade levels. For example, students might learn about a concept in sixth grade science, and they will return to that concept in seventh grade science to learn about that concept in more detail. We also regularly relate the content that we learn in the science classroom to the interests and life experiences of the students. Additionally, we make many connections to societal and personal concerns. So what will my child learn this year? Well, in sixth grade science, we really have two curriculums. First, we have the academic curriculum. This includes the units called The Nature of Science, Weather and Climate, Land, Water, and Human Interactions, Geological Processes, Ecology, and Forces, Motion, and Energy. We also have the very important metacognitive, that is, learning how to learn, and social emotional learning curriculum. This curriculum includes the question formulation technique, or the QFT. By using the QFT, students will learn how to ask effective research questions. They will also become more effective researchers as they engage in self-directed digital research. Additionally, students will become better readers of nonfiction, particularly scientific articles. They will also regularly engage in data analysis throughout the year, and very importantly, with their collaborative work, they will have opportunities to improve their communication and social skills in order to interact effectively with other students. In the first unit, called The Nature of Science, students learn how scientists do their work. That is, they learn the differences between observations and inferences. And they also learn how to write a thorough scientific report, also known as a CER. CER stands for Claim, Evidence, and Reasoning. In this first unit, students are introduced to a CER, and then they write CERs for each unit throughout the year. Students will also learn the major principles of lab safety, and they will have the opportunity to apply the lab safety rules throughout the year. This is to ensure that the students develop good, safe lab habits. Then we move into the weather and climate unit. Students will build on their basic knowledge of weather acquired from elementary school. They will learn about different topics related to weather and climate in more detail. For example, students already know the basics of the water cycle. In sixth grade science, however, students understand the water cycle at the particle level, and they will gain a better understanding of how differences in density and pressure drive the water cycle. Students will also learn about the different types of precipitation, and they will learn about the differences between weather and climate. Then they move into a deep study of climate. They will learn the different factors that affect climate. They will learn about the different climate zones around the world, and they will study hurricanes and tornadoes and climate change. Next, the students have the Land, Water, and Human Interactions unit. In this unit, students learn more about environmental science. They will learn about the problem of pollution, particularly fertilizer that is used on farms across the United States. They will learn how this fertilizer is entering the Mississippi River system and flowing down to the Gulf of Mexico and causing dead zones. Students will also engage in thinking to devise solutions to this problem of dead zones and pollution. Next, the students move into the Geological Processes unit, also known as Earth Science. Students will learn more about tectonic plates and this special location in the Pacific known as the Ring of Fire. Students will learn more about earthquakes and volcanoes, and they will examine this very important real-life issue that hardly anyone talks about. Where should we bury radioactive waste? Next, the students have the Ecology unit. In this unit, students study the interactions between animals and their environment. They will learn about the different roles of ecosystems, including the role of the sun. They will also learn more about food chains and food webs, and then they will learn about problems in ecosystems. These problems include invasive species and endangered species. They will also think through ways to solve these problems. Students finish the year with a physics unit. In this unit, students learn the differences between kinetic and potential energy. They learn more about Sir Isaac Newton and the 3 laws of motion that Isaac Newton articulated. Students will learn more about how roller coasters work. This is a great unit to end the year with because during summer vacation, many people attend amusement parks. Because District 203 is a one-to-one district, meaning that each student has his or her own Chromebook, students use many virtual learning and collaborative tools throughout the year. It's also important to know the differences between Canvas and Infinite Campus. Canvas is the student learning platform. Students receive and submit most of their assignments through Canvas. On Canvas, teachers give feedback, and students can collaborate with one another through the discussion board and other features. Infinite Campus, also known as IC, is the official student data system. In this system, student records are kept. Attendance is taken in this system, and official grades, such as report card grades, are reported on IC. Each trimester, the report card shows students' mastery of different standards. During the first trimester, students will show their ability to analyze weather and climate data and their mastery of asking questions about human impact on systems, and also how well they can, at that point, develop models to show the cycling of Earth's matter. Models reappear in the second trimester. Students will show their mastery of developing models to show the cycling of Earth's matter. They will also show their mastery of analyzing data to explain human impact on Earth and their mastery of constructing scientific explanations about Earth. During third trimester, students will be evaluated on their abilities to develop models once again, only this time the models will be about the matter cycles and flow of energy. Students will also show their mastery of evaluating arguments about ecosystem changes, and they will show their abilities to plan an investigation to model forces and energy. It's also important to know that for each trimester, formative practice is 10% of the student's grade. Formative practice includes opportunities for learning, and formative practice is often graded on effort. At Kennedy Junior High, we use standards reference reporting. This means that students get proficiency language, often in Canvas, and the proficiency language corresponds to these letter grades. Thank you for watching. If you have any additional questions, please email me at abarrett, B as in boy, ARRETT, at naperville203.org.